Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Gleason, and welcome as ESPN Classic presents the 1990 NCAA tournament matchup between Michigan, the defending national champions, and Loyola Marymount, the nation's highest-scoring team. This second-round game took place exactly 2 weeks after Hank Gather's death following his on-the-court collapse in a West Coast Conference tournament game versus the University of Portland. Loyola Marymount held a memorial service for Gathers as Chris Myers reviews in this vintage 1990 SportsCenter report.
Gather's teammates, after witnessing his last basket and collapse Sunday night, struggled with the reality of losing their leader.
He was the leader of our team. He was the fiber of what we are.
People lined Loyola Boulevard. It was eerie. So many people, still so silent. His casket was carried in by his teammates into the Lions gym. A gym which holds 4,000 for basketball was filled by more than 5,000 mourners.
I know that Hank would want to hear one more cheer, one more clap from his fans, friends, the people who supported him. One last applause in his house.
With 2,490 points, Hank Gathers passed away as the leading scorer in Loyola Marymount history. Later in our show, we'll examine the nation's first class of Prop 48 players. But right now, let's head out to Long Beach, California for the 1990 NCAA tournament game between Loyola Marymount and Michigan on ESPN Classic.
Welcome to Long Beach, California, everyone, for second-round play here in West Region action. Today's two winners will join Nevada, Las Vegas, and Ball State in the regional semifinals in Oakland, California next weekend. Our first game this afternoon pits the Lions of Loyola Marymount against the Michigan Wolverines. Well, Quinn Buckner has tried, but you really cannot ask for a better day than we have here in Long Beach, California. The Long Beach Arena, the site of West Regional action, and Loyola Marymount taking on the Michigan Wolverines in Game 1. Certainly one of the big keys to this game will be to see just how well the big men of Michigan can keep up. And the tip goes to Michigan, and Steamer with the foul on the attempted block.
Well, that was a power tap all the way from Loyola just to get there, to get the ball up there. Steamer just got there late, but you can see Michigan coming out trying to assert their size and strength right here at the top.
Here's Steve Fisher in his first full season. 6-0 last year, 23-7 this year. Gets the Wolverines on the board first.
Been a big player for him, Lloyd Vaught has. I thought he was a good player last year in the Big Ten. I think he's one of the outstanding seniors coming out. Strong, rebounds, and he's a very good shooter.
Steve Fisher says the Wolverines have to rebound to stay in this game. Kimball grabs one there, and here come the Lions. Steamer is open for three.
They got Terry Mills trying to guard Steamer. That's going to be a real problem.
Three-point basket.
3-1, Loyola Marymount. Demetrius Caleb with the basketball, dribbling through traffic. Here's Mike Griffin.
But here's where you get in trouble, getting back on the transition.
Griffin is the one who is to guard Bo Kimball today. And he is all over Bo Kimball down low.
That matchup will be an interesting one, Greg, because Griffin works as hard as anybody on the defensive end.
Fryer stripped of the ball by Rumeal Robinson.
Fryer just jumped out and took the foul on that one. What Michigan has done, interestingly enough, is they've gotten Demetrius Caleb bring the ball up. It rests Rumeal Ramil Robinson from having to put up with the pressure that Loyola wants to put on him.
A couple of one-point games preceding us earlier. Shot out of the corner by Robinson is off. And Walker will push it, loses the ball. Griffin has it. Here comes Caleb. Caleb will put it up.
Marymount's pace.
Loose ball, traveling violation.
Traveling violation, ball awarded to Loyola Marymount.
But the pace is Loyola Marymount, and one of the things that we saw early is Ramil Robinson taking a quick jump shot from the corner. He sets the tempo. He cannot afford to take that shot because everybody else on Michigan feeds off of Ramil Robinson.
Jeff Fryer out front. Knight across the lane. Whistle blows underneath, and the foul is on Mike Griffin. Mike Griffin trying to block Bo Kimball off the boards where he grabbed 18 on Friday night.
And you got to keep a body on him. I still contend Mike Griffin is the best person for that job. He's a role player on Michigan's team. He's the one guy that doesn't have to take shots to be an effective part of the Wolverines' offense.
And Mike Griffin,
they're telling him to get up. I mean, Dan Clark, he looked at him like, what are you doing? Get up.
talk about setting some tempo. Here's Jeff Fryer out of the corner. It's a 6-3 Loyola Marymount lead early here in the first half, and Michigan comes back with a fast break bucket by number 35, Loy Vaught. Just over 18 minutes to play.
They've come back, Greg, but the tempo again is what Loyola Marymount is on.
Chris Knight driving the lane is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot two.
On 35,
There's Steve Fisher. He brings his Wolverines into Long Beach Arena here for second round play. The winner here moves on to Oakland, California to join Nevada, Las Vegas, and Ball State. And later on today, Arizona and Alabama will do battle to determine the same as Chris Voigt hits the short pop off the baseline.
Well, Knight made that shot, but what I'm watching is that Paul Westhead has started to make Bo Kimball more of a decoy as opposed to going to him on the offensive end. Bo Kimball has set up the last two shots.
Mills. Good shot by the big guy, 6'10", 240-pound Terry Mills. And it's 8-7 Loyola Marymount. Here's Kimball. And the ball will go over to Michigan. Friday night, Kimball got off to a slow start. But did he ever heat up in the second half?
Yeah, and Greg, he got off to the slow start, and that was the reason Loyola Marymount got off to the slow start, and the reason they picked it up in the second half.
Ramil Robinson fouled from behind by Tony Walker.
Fouls on number 12, Tony Walker, his first personal.
Other games from around the regionals, Southeast Regional, Northern Iowa, and Minnesota.
Well, I know not many people expected Northern Iowa to be there. I once did not, but they're there, so they have as good a chance as anybody. Again, talking to the parity of the NCAA.
Of course, Northern Iowa has one of the respected coaches in all of basketball, Eldon Miller. (8-7) Loyola Marymount. This is Vaught with Steamer on him, and Steamer is a physical player. Griffin. Steamer with the rebound. Here come the Lions. Kimball for three.
The defense back up. Found Bo Kimball at the three-point range.
11-7, Loyola Marymount by 4. On the break, Griffin missed everything. Here comes Kimball. He'll force it. Loose ball. Chris Knight lost it in the lane, and here comes Michigan. And that foul is on Kimball.
On 30.
You pointed it out, Quinn. The pace is in favor of LMU.
Oh, it absolutely is, Greg. They want to get it up and down. Michigan is trying to run with them. When Steve Fisher was talking about slowing the pace down, the tough part about it is when you've got people like Ramil Robinson, Terry Mills, Demetrius Caleb, these guys, they can run because that's how they grew up. To try to all of a sudden take it out and then pick it up again is a very difficult thing to do.
6 times in 30 games this season, Michigan has hit 100 or more points in a game with a high of 127 against Iowa. And that shot is good from outside by Terry Mills. Mills has 4. Fryer outside, Steamer for 3. Comes up short, and here comes Michigan 3-on-1. Robinson, good pass to Mills.
Michigan basket by Terry Mills.
Mills has 6. Steamer is open again. That one is off.
Yeah, that one's off, but that's the shot they've got to make because Terry Mills will give Steamer that shot.
Meanwhile, Vaught comes back for the short pop. That doesn't go, and we'll go the other way. Here's Steamer, another 3.
You keep trying if you get the shot.
Steve Fisher wants his man to go out and cover Pierce Steamer.
Defense always back up in transition, and they go protect the basket, and it's Terry Mills that was trying to guard Pierce Steamer, so Steamer is wide open because Mills is not getting back out in time.
3-point lead for Loyola Marymount. Here's a 3-on-1 advantage. Good bounce pass from Mills to Loy Vaught.
Michigan basket by Loy Vaught.
And LMU coming right back at you. Kimball, this is a 2. Kimball for 3.
Nobody back on transition.
And Loy Vaught with the slam.
Michigan basket by Loy Vaught.
Michigan by 1. Vaught has 7. Kimball in the lane, off the glass, and a traveling violation that will not count.
He is a master driver. His job is to measure what computers cannot. How a car moves you. Emotionally. Because that is the ultimate luxury. The newly redesigned Infiniti G Coupe. This is inspired performance. This is the way of Infiniti.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. Rush's relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
With the new Geico Glove Box app, you can get help with a flat tire. Find a nearby tow truck or gas station. Call emergency services. Collect accident information. Or just watch some fun videos. It's so easy, a caveman can do it.
Unbelievable. Where's my coat? It was suede with the fringe.
Download the Glovebox app free at geico.com.
eHarmony matches millions of people every day, so we video chatted with some online.
By the time we met each other, it felt like we had known each other for years, and it was so comfortable.
Unlike Jennifer, I am not that photogenic, so being able to give a little bit more than just a picture was much more beneficial for me.
We're perfect for one another. I don't know how they figured that part out, but they got it so right.
See how well the eHarmony personality profile captures you. Get started today and review your matches absolutely free.
Now, multigrain pops. Something unexpected to the world of multigrain. Taste. Introducing delicious new Pringles multigrain. New multigrain pops with Pringles.
ESPN, your NBA destination. Don't miss a doubleheader featuring Pistons Cavs, followed by Hornets Spurs. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Well, good news for the ACC and bad for the Big 8. 4 out of 5 Atlantic Coast Conference teams have moved into the Sweet 16. And look at the tough games that have taken place today. Meanwhile, here in Long Beach, Michigan is running with Loyola Marymount.
Well, the interesting thing is that I saw Demetrius Callup, there was the man with the ball. They're giving it to Ramil Robinson where he can make the decision after the defense has been moved. You saw Terry Mills finish it off.
1 point Michigan lead and the full court press by Loyola Marymount. And they lose it. Lowry to Fryer.
That's the pressure, full court press.
Number 20, Terrell Lowry, into the game and makes an immediate impact. But back comes Michigan 2-on-1. Robinson almost lost it on his way up.
Michigan basketball, Ramil Robinson.
Peabody, number 11, gives to Kimball.
defensive play. Caught it between his legs and got it back.
Tally back, misses. Rebound, Michigan, no. Steamer has it. Jeff Fryer for three. Loyola Marymount's type of game. Number 14, Michael Tally, and number 24, Sean Higgins in the lineup for Michigan. And Robinson slows it down. And Steve Fisher calls out a play from the sideline.
And well, he should, Greg, because we talked about the big people inside of Michigan. You see right here, Bo Kimball trying to guard Terry Mills, but the tempo was clearly to the point that Loyola Marymount was in good shape.
Here Steamer comes up big on the boards again for LMU, and back they come. Lowry for three. Peabody fighting the big guys inside, out of bounds to Loyola Marymount. Steve Fisher disapproves.
You see these guys are barely holding on to the ball with a 45-second clock. We don't need it today, Greg.
Despite Steve Fisher's protestations, the Lions will inbound the ball. 11 is Peabody, 30 is Kimball, 20 Terrell Lowry.
Peabody's in the game. You know, we call him the human bruise. He'll get down on the ground, get loose ball. Scott had a good game for him the other night. Just did everything. Rebound, shot it down.
Fryer misses, out of bounds, and that belongs to Michigan. 31, Chris Scott is a 6'8" freshman who is helping fill the middle in place of Hank Gathers.
Loyola Marymount is really struggling from the field as a rule, but they're shooting 5 from 11 from the three-point line, but they were only shooting like 6 from 12. I mean, 5 for 13 a moment ago, so from the field, period. You see, Bo Kimball needs a break, but I'm starting to see some of the Michigan players tire a little bit, and I see Steve Fisher made some good adjustments in that vein.
Number 42, Eric Riley, a 6'11" freshman from Cleveland, is into the Michigan lineup. Pass inside, whistle blows, and that'll go against Loyola Marymount. Looks like it's on number 34. It is Chris Knight.
I like the way Chris Knight walked away like it couldn't have been my foul.
Chris Knight, who took over the starting center position in place of Hank Gathers for Loyola Marymount, and doing very well.
What this lineup Michigan has, and Demetrius Calip has to handle the ball, but Sean Higgins is the guy that has range. He's got a height advantage on Jeff Fryer. Sean Higgins should take advantage of his height.
Mills inside, blocked by Scott. Fryer traveled with the ball.
Traveling violation awarded to Michigan.
Well, Loyola Marymount is running people at Terry Mills, knowing that he has the height advantage. And you see right there, Scott, again, playing a great game. Come over, get the tip on the fast break for Loyola Marymount, but they got the traveling call.
Back comes Michigan. Sean Higgins lobs. Nicely done to Eric Riley.
Michigan basket by Eric Riley.
Now, this is interesting because I was wondering if the official's going to give him a warning and on knocking the ball out. That's what Paul Westhead is trying to say. If you're a fast break team and you give a warning, one warning for either team means the next time you don't let the ball come out of the basket and go right to the offensive team, it's a technical foul. And that's what Paul Westhead is protesting for.
And that's one way of slowing down Loyola Marymount.
It's a very good way to do it.
19-19 with 12 and a half to play, first half. Peabody fouled as he went the other way. The foul is on Caleb.
No, I think they call that on Sean Higgins. I saw him go down and lose his balance, and then he tried to get back up, and in doing so, he just pushed Peabody.
You are right, oh former national collegiate basketball champion.
I was one to foul a lot. I want to make sure the right man gets the foul.
Member of that undefeated team, Indiana, back in 1976. What are your feelings like this time of year when you're on the court?
Oh, I love it. I mean, this is the time of the year. You sit at home. When you're a kid, you think about, making the last shot, winning the national championship. That's all you think about.
Kimball back into the lineup. 2 shots don't go. Here's Lowry driving the baseline, and his reverse is blocked. Lowry chases it down. Back to Lowry for the three. And here comes Caleb. Good dribbling move at halftime. Oh, look at the passing. That will be basket interference, and it'll go the other way. But what a great display of passing by the Wolverines coming down court.
Well, you know, Paul Westhead wants the tempo up, but as I said, the Michigan players have run. They learn how to run. When you first pick up a basketball, that's all you do in pickup games. And what Paul Westhead has done is try to put some kind of structure to it. Michigan is just going from instinct.
Bo Kimball fouled in the middle. The foul is on number 52, Terry Mills. Timeout on the floor. 11:51 to play. We'll be back.
What? Giant peanut with sea salt. Dude, you're freaking me out. Hey, getting really sick of this, Gary.
Planters with pure sea salt.
Saturday at 2 on ESPN. #1 Syracuse battles Louisville, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Then at 9, North Carolina clashes with 4th-ranked Duke, presented by DirecTV.
Do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? Bill Schaefer, co-inventor of the Splash Wash, did. He came up with the idea while watching his children play. InventHelp submitted his idea to Whammo, makers of toys like the Frisbee and the Hula Hoop. Hi, I'm Clarence McGee, the sales director of InventHelp. To find out how we can help you try to submit your idea to companies, call for your free information. Bill Schaefer made a financial gain with his invention. Bill's experience is not typical, and most inventions are not successful.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-361-0086.
Hi, I'm John Scher, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that gives away all the free computer learning lessons. Well, I've given away hundreds of thousands of my free computer learning lessons, and I'm not done yet. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Do you want to join the millions of people who are making money on eBay? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I can make you the next millionaire selling an attic full of baseball cards, but I can guarantee you I'll teach you everything you need to know about eBay. And with over 60 lessons on all of today's most popular computer programs, I know that there's more you're going to want to learn. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Try my product.
Call now and get your great learning CD absolutely free. You'll see how fast and easy you can learn eBay, Windows, Excel, PowerPoint, or any other video lesson. Call now to get the skills you need to succeed. Just pay shipping and processing. Call 1-800-260-8492. That's 1-800-260-8492.
In the late 1980s, the NCAA adopted the Prop 48 legislation, which forced college athletes to sit out their freshman season unless they reached the proposition's admission standards. The first group of players affected by Prop 48 included Wolverine stars Ramil Robinson and Terry Mills, as well as UNLV's Stacey Augmon, who thrived on the court and in the classroom, as Charlie Steiner explains in his vintage report from 1990.
Terry Mills was on the mark. Ramil Robinson was on the line, and Michigan was reintroduced to Cinderella. Everything was perfect, but for these two young men, it wasn't always that way. Mills and Robinson have been up and down as collegians. The up, a national championship. The down, Proposition 48. In the 1986-87 season, the pair had to thoroughly stay away from Michigan basketball. A bitter situation, right? Wrong.
It's not something that I regret. You know, I love the fact that, you know, I had the freedom to socialize and, you know, I could play basketball when I wanted to play basketball. You know, I can study. You know, I can do things that an average student has the opportunity to do.
You're not, you know, pressured or anything like that. You could take up to 17, 18 credits, you know, and be on schedule to graduate, whereas if you were playing, you could only take probably a minimum of 12, you know, and so you could really get a head start on everyone else, you know.
The first wave of Prop 48 casualties are now in their 4th year. Besides Michigan's pair, there's Jason Williams of St. John's, Eddie Bird of Indiana State, and Stacey Augmon of UNLV, just to name a few. Juniors Bird and Augmon took advantage of a clause that allowed them to pay their first-year tuition and still have 4 years of eligibility. That option is no longer available. But whether a junior or senior, the response is the same.
It was difficult, coming out of high school, you really want to play right away. It's really hard to sit down and not play, but I think it was best in my interest.
That first year, I think, I was away from basketball, but, I kept my studies up, and that helped out a lot.
I needed it, point blank. I needed to sit down and hit the books and study, and when it was finished and it was all said and done, I understood what was going on, and I was a better person for it.
Proposition 48 was not adopted to penalize these student athletes, but to encourage academic interest in high school. They may have been made examples, but to Mills, that's perfectly okay.
You can just pull out an article on Terry Mills and say, well, look, he set out this year. He went from here to being a national champ to trying to play like an All-American to graduating at Michigan. And that's something that I want young kids to respond on.
Ramil Robinson's 2 free throws with 3 seconds left allowed Michigan to edge Seton Hall 80-79 in overtime in the 1989 NCAA title game. Later, we'll profile Michigan coach Steve Fisher, but right now let's return to 1990 second-round NCAA tournament action between Michigan and Loyola Marymount on ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to Long Beach Arena, everyone. Second round West Regional play, and welcome to those of you who have been watching Xavier of Ohio take on Georgetown in Indianapolis. We have a 19-19 tie with 11:51 to play in the first half. Craig Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, and it has been an up-and-down game, as you might expect when Loyola Marymount is involved.
Well, Loyola has their tempo, Greg. They've wanted to push the ball up and down. They've really struggled getting it in the basket, and that's crucial for them. They're shooting like 33%, and they need to get it up about 55 in order to be successful.
Tom Peabody with the basket, and there is a backdoor violation, and that'll go over to LMU.
Eric Riley, I'm sure, just was trying to make sure the right person took the ball out of bounds, and he just stepped in with the ball. Clearly a violation.
The Michigan Wolverines in the white, defending national champions. And Jeff Fryer, leading scorer in the game so far with 8 points, is back on the floor.
Got a little more offense with Jeff.
There's Fryer out of the corner.
Little offense with Jeff, folks.
Fryer has 11, 24-19. And the Wolverines break the press. Inside, foul is called. That one will go on Fryer. Higgins says he was shooting, and I think the officials disagree.
Fouls on 21, Jeff Fryer. Second personal, 16 fouls on
Number 2 on Fryer, the 6'2 senior out of Newport Beach, California. Michigan with the better field goal percentage, but Loyola just firing them up as they go up and down the court. And Jeff Fryer and Loy Vaught, the leading scorers on each side.
Well, it's a mild understatement to say they fired up, Greg, but the 33%, it's what obviously would hurt any team. But see, for Loyola, their shooting percentage is based on them shooting over 100 shots a game. Paul Westhead said, if we shoot 100 shots, then we have a very good chance of beating you. Loyola shoots normally about 51%, so they are a little slow. They were slow on Friday, but they seem to pick it up when they need to, as they did in the second half against New Mexico State.
Sean Higgins hits the first, and he'll get a second. 6'9" junior from Los Angeles, so he's playing in front of some home crowd folks today.
He's not only doing that, Greg, but what there's been some question about is if he's got his confidence back. He had a stress fracture and just hasn't shot the ball quite as well, so he may not have the confidence he had before the injury.
Bo Kimball, baseline drive. And the nation's leading scorer has 5, and it's a 5-point Loyola Marymount lead. Higgins for 3. Chris Knight with the board. Under 11 minutes to play now, first half.
Got Sean Higgins guarding Bo Kimball. Sean not normally a defensive shooter player.
Fryer throws up an air ball out of bounds, and it belongs to Michigan. Here in the West region, Loyola Marymount knocked off New Mexico State 45 points Friday night by Bo Kimball. And their they're taking on Michigan. Later today, it'll be Alabama against Arizona. Ball is kicked out of bounds. Michigan retains possession. Xavier leading Georgetown 28-15.
Xavier's proven that their team to play. As a matter of fact, Xavier beat Loyola Marymount, so they've proven that they can beat some good teams.
This is Mills. Short hook doesn't go, and that'll go on Mills over the back of Chris Knight.
Boy, they've got to watch getting Terry Mills in foul trouble because they are only 5-5 in terms of a season record when either Terry Mills or Loy Vaught get in foul trouble, and going up and down wears big people out, making them exposed to getting fouled.
That's 2 personal fouls on Mills. Kimball with Griffin on it.
He'll take him off the dribble.
Shot doesn't fall. Caleb has the rebound and pushes it up court. And he traveled.
And that's a very good call. The official right on top of it. It's right in front of him. Demetrius Caleb looked like he wanted to pass, and at the last minute rolled his hand, and the official right on it.
Back. 4 turnovers now for each team.
Turnovers for Michigan will be something to watch because they're normally turn it over only about 14 turnovers a game. They have 4 already with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
And Mike Griffin has just drawn another foul trying to keep up with Bo Kimball.
Fouls on 20. Mike Griffin, his second personal.
Minnesota with the 6-point lead over Northern Iowa in Southeast Regional play. Into the game, number 20, Terrell Lowry for Loyola Marymount.
A little more offense with Terrell Lowry. Tony Walker has great speed up and down the court. Really wanted to come to Loyola to put that speed to use. But Terrell Lowry is a much better scorer.
Both teams in the bonus situation now. Good short shot by Chris Knight. He has 4.
This is who Steve Fisher didn't want to have the ball. Loy Vaught not on the press.
Michigan will now go into the offense. Ramil Robinson for 3. Michigan's team leader in scoring, steals, and assists, and back comes Lowry with the 3. Rebound attempt, and Chris Knight draws the foul.
Well, Paul Westhead is raising Cain because, and I saw it too, Michigan tapped the ball out of bounds again, and Paul Westhead is trying to get his point across to the official.
And he will do it while we take time out here in Long Beach. 9:32 to play. Loyola Marymount by 4.
Just tell me right now, like first impression, would you marry me?
There's so many different things about me that I do not like.
Let's talk about something fun. How about magic?
Peanuts. I like cashews.
Any site can get you to a first date. But with eHarmony, those dates can be better. You get to choose from people matched with you based on deep compatibility. And that means something more meaningful from the first date onward. So try eHarmony.com today and review all your compatible matches free.
Just because it says for men doesn't mean it is. New Gillette Odor Shield Body Wash targets and neutralizes odor for up to 16 hours. Because you've got a man-sized odor hanging all over you. Gillette Odor Shield Body Wash. Wash like a man, feel like a man. Also try new Gillette Odor Shield Antiperspirant.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. Russia's relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Cadillac CTS Sports Sedan. One of Car and Driver's 10 best for the 3rd year in a row. And now, for qualified current lessees, Cadillac announces the new Luxury Collection lease.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
ESPN, your NBA destination. Tomorrow, LeBron James and the league-leading Cavs look to shut down the Pistons. Then the Hornets try to get back in the playoff picture as they take on the Spurs. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
To the line is Loy Vaught.
I didn't want to overlook the fact you see UCLA has gotten themselves back in the regional. I think credit needs to go to Jim Herrick because the UCLA program was supposedly in a rebuilding stage.
Guess the rebuilding is over. Kimball and Lowry. And the Loyola Marymount shot clock is down to about 25, which is as low as you'll ever see it.
Don't worry, they'll get a shot up because it's way too low for them.
Kimball inside, throws up a prayer. Rebound, Lowry.
You remember Steve Fisher was worried about rebounding, an offensive rebound as much as anything.
And there's an offensive foul on Demetrius Caleb.
Well, interesting enough, that's Chris Knight. He's 6'9", taking that charge. Steve Fisher doesn't want his team to turn the ball over. But you'll see Chris Knight get there, get in position, and Demetrius Caleb was losing his balance, knocked Knight over.
As much notoriety as the Loyola Marymount offense gets, their defense on the press is considerable.
Well, I tell you what, in a half-court game, their defense gets helter-skelter if you slow it down. On the full-court press, they make a sincere effort to try to cause turnovers, to their credit.
Fryer, open, top of the key. Fryer drains another three, and it's 33-24. 14 for Fryer.
This is where Ramil can make a lot of good things happen.
Loy Vaught gets the bucket, and it's a traveling violation in the backcourt. Michigan has control. Jeff Fryer has 4 of those 7 3-pointers for Loyola Marymount.
Well, we got to consider the fact that Bo Kimball hadn't even gotten on track. So to have Fryer get off this well gives Bo a chance to get in his rhythm. And as we all know, by the second half of New Mexico State, when Bo gets his rhythm, he's as good as they come.
Terry Mills with a good turnaround. 8 points for Mills. Lowry on the drive, throws it up and scores.
Tough move.
35-28. Robinson, and that one went off of his leg. Into the game for Loyola Marymount, number 11, Tom Peabody. 34, Chris Knight will take a breather. As will Demetrius Caleb and number 14, Michael Talley, into the lineup for Steve Fisher's Michigan Wolverines.
Probably we're going to talk to Demetrius about trying to get the ball in his hands because Ramil is so much into taking challenges. He's a competitor, and he's taking a challenge against a team that wants to run it up and down the court.
Peabody was open, didn't hit it, though, and Vaught had the rebound. Vaught had 21 rebounds against Illinois State here Friday night. He has 5 today. Robinson out of the corner, that's short.
That's a bad shot. That's a quick shot. And we talked about it earlier. Ramil can't afford to take it, particularly that quickly.
Oh, what a drive by Terrell Lowry. Just as you begin to look for that three-point bomb, Terrell Lowry drives the lane. Seven minutes to play, first half. 37-29, Loyola Marymount.
That's Ramil Robinson. Came around the corner, and he just pushed Tom Peabody in the back.
That's the first personal foul on Ramil Robinson, and it'll be a 1-and-1 for Loyola Marymount.
Steve Fisher seeing his star player, Ramil Robinson, take a bad shot, come down and get a foul. He's not seeing the kind of tempo he likes. This man, Ramil Robinson's got to control the tempo, can't take the quick shots.
Number 4, Tony Tolbert, into the lineup for the first time this afternoon. He replaces Mike Griffin. Tolbert, a 6'4" freshman from Detroit. And this is the human bruise.
That's my kind of player, Greg. I said that before.
They say Peabody is as likely to wind up in our laps as anywhere on the floor today with his diving antics.
You know what I really like about him? He does the same thing in practice, you know, so it's not something that's contrived just for a game, even though you want to make sure it happens in the game. He does it every time he's on the court.
Loyola Marymount with its biggest lead and driving in and scoring is Michael Talley.
Talley's got good offensive skills. He's got to learn, though, when you get the shot, you take it, but be careful because you'll be forced into that tempo.
Kimball will go to the line to try to make it a three-point play. Let's take you back to Friday night when Bo Kimball said that for every game he plays in this tournament, he will shoot his first free throw left-handed. He stepped to the line Friday night against New Mexico State in memory of his close friend and former teammate Hank Gathers and drilled it. The fans fully behind him and are expecting it now.
Greg, he's got a stroke with it too. Reminds me of my old days.
There's the steal by Peabody. Oh, and a dish for Lowry. Steve Fisher wants timeout. Loyola Marymount's fans are going wild. We'll be back.
What? Giant peanut with sea salt. Dude, you're freaking me out.
Hey, getting really sick of this, Gary.
Planters with pure sea salt.
Carlos Pena or Raul Ibanez?
20 seconds.
Seriously? Okay, need a big bat. Daddy needs some RBIs. Let's see. Carlos had 100, Raul had 93. Carlos is younger, but I like the sound of Raul. Raul. Definitely better to chant than Carlos. Plus, he's bald. When am I gonna lose my hair? Dude, focus. Need a big bat. Vicente Padilla.
5 pitchers in a row? Interesting.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
Saturday, first up at 2, #1 Syracuse at Louisville. Then at 9, North Carolina battles 4th-ranked Duke.
Hi, I'm John Scher, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that gives away all the free computer learning lessons. Well, I've given away hundreds of thousands of my free computer learning lessons, and I'm not done yet. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Do you want to join the millions of people who are making money on eBay? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I can make you the next millionaire selling an attic full of baseball cards, but I can guarantee you I'll teach you everything you need to know about eBay. And with over 60 lessons on all of today's most popular computer programs, I know that there's more you're going to want to learn. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Try my product.
Call now and get your great learning CD absolutely free. You'll see how fast and easy you can learn eBay, Windows, Excel, PowerPoint, or any other video lesson. Call now to get the skills you need to succeed. Just pay shipping and processing.
Call 1-800-260-8492. That's 1-800-260-8492.
You're watching the 1990 NCAA Tournament second-round matchup between the Lions of Loyola Marymount and the Michigan Wolverines right here on ESPN Classic.
6:24 to play first half, and the Lions have jumped, exploded to a 14-point lead. And the press is on. Robinson now turns it into a 4-on-1 break, and Sean Higgins scores at the other end. This is Walker. Kimball puts it up.
He's got the stroke, Greg. You can just see it now. I mean, he had Sean Higgins, who's 3 inches taller than he is, right in his face, did Bo Kimball, and just stroked it.
The most remarkable performance, or aspect of his performance, as Higgins puts the shot up and the rebound comes out to Michigan. Most remarkable aspect of his performance Friday night was how well he played and how many points he scored after he had 4 personal fouls. He scored 35. And he picked up his 4th personal with 7 minutes to play in the first half. Talley's outside shot doesn't go, and the youngster Chris Scott pulls it down. Walker fouled as he drove. The foul is on Talley.
Well, we're looking at Talley right here, but the thing that we need to mention that right now Loyola has 46 points. They had 46 points at the end of the first half against New Mexico State and then just exploded. So they're back more into their tempo, and they've got Michigan running in their tempo, which definitely has to be to Loyola's advantage.
Talley to the bench for Michigan. Walker to the line for Loyola Marymount.
Walker on the free throw line, shooting 1-1.
You know, to fill the void by the loss of Hank Gathers, everybody has to pick up. And I think Walker is a critical ingredient because he has to push the ball up to create easy scoring opportunities.
He has no points, but 6 assists today. Ramil Robinson into the lane. The shot doesn't go. Rebound out of bounds to Michigan. Walker led the West Coast Conference with 7.5 assists a game. And I've got to tell you, it's not that difficult to pick up an assist on this Loyola Marymount team.
Well, they get assists because you throw them and they shoot a jump shot from the three-point line.
Terry Mills bombs away from outside. He has 10. Fryer, baseline. A good move by Jeff Fryer. And Fryer has 16.
Really come up big here in the first half, Greg. Fryer has played extremely well on the offensive end.
Michigan will slow it down now. Defending national champions. Turnaround by Mills is good.
Terry Mills is doing what he's been doing all year. He had a bad game, and they knew that he'd come out with a good game today because he had a bad game on Friday. He hadn't played 2 back-to-back bad games all season, so we expected to see Terry have a good game.
Fryer traveled. There's the turnover. Meanwhile, Pierce Steamer back into the lineup for Loyola Marymount. Full court pressure and finally inbound. Ramil Robinson has it taken away by Peabody, who's down on the floor with him. And the whistle blows and there was a travel. And Peabody will go to the bench. Meanwhile, Steve Fisher giving counsel on the other side of the floor.
Peabody get a great effort to come up with the steal, but he comes in and makes a lot of things happen. Now it's up to the starters to get out, keep up the defensive pressure so you can keep the tempo going in Loyola's favor.
Michigan with 9 turnovers, Loyola Marymount with 6. There's a steal. Here comes Kimball. Foul, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you can see right here that Bo's got his mind made up. He's going to take it to the basket. There's no question about Ramil getting over there trying to prevent the shot. But Bo Kimball had his mind made up. I thought he was going to try to dunk the ball. Ramil Robinson did a good job cutting off the angle.
11 points, 3 boards. The nation's leading scorer at 35.6 a game. His 45 points Friday night, a West Regional scoring record.
But he was a little disappointed, Greg. He told us he was going to get 7. Got off to a little bit of a slow start.
When he told us that, we laughed and we looked back at him and he wasn't laughing. Here's Griffin, open and hits. Mike Griffin has 4. Kimball on the move, and Mills with the rebound. Michigan quickly into the front court, and Mills open and curls another one home.
It's great for Michigan while they're making that shot, but Greg, once they get the ball over the court, they're barely letting 5 seconds run off the clock. So as long as they're making, obviously it's good. But if they start missing those shots, that's when the fast breaks come up for Loyola Marymount.
Mills has 14. Kimball's shot is off. Griffin has the rebound, and back come the Wolverines, and there's a foul in the backcourt on Walker. That's number 2 on Tony Walker.
See, Michigan's got 10 turnovers, potential 20 points, and you see Loyola Marymount has 16 of those 20.
Shall we call them capitalists?
Yeah, they'll take advantage of a little turnover here and there.
Here's Demetrius Caleb, 66% free throw shooter. And there's his first point of the day.
One shot, man. Here we go.
It is now an 8-point lead for Loyola Marymount with 3:27 to play as number 24, Sean Higgins, comes into the Michigan lineup.
Steve Fisher doing a good job keeping the rotation going, Greg. Getting guys fresh legs, giving them breathers, taking Griffin out, bringing some more offense in with Sean Higgins. But they put Sean Higgins on Bo Kimball.
Fryer.
That's who they've got to stop.
Fryer has 18.
Good pass.
Higgins for Rumeal Robinson.
Michigan basket by Rumeal Robinson.
Bo Kimball nails a long one. We welcome those of you who have been watching Xavier in Georgetown. Here it is 54-44, Loyola Marymount leading the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines by 10. Wolverines with the ball in white. And it has been Loyola Marymount's pace, and they have been hitting from long range. Speaking of hitting from long range, Terry Mills hits 2 more. He has 16, and he's 8 for 11 from the field.
Terry Mills has been playing well, but I think as long as you got the rhythm of Loyola Marymount, they've got to feel happy. Right now, they got 57 points with 2.5 minutes to go in the game. This is along the pace that Loyola Marymount wants.
Terrell Lowry with the 3. Rumeal Robinson back and scores. Rumeal Robinson beginning to heat up. He has 9, but here come the Lions. Jeff Fryer is on fire here in the first half. He has 21. That's 5 3-pointers. And the foul in the backcourt is on Kimball.
Well, Bo Kimball would have been better off not fouling there, because I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the Michigan players. They're a little slow walking back for this foul line. They're just worn out for this pace.
Steve Fisher said, we're used to an up-tempo game, but we're not used to what Loyola Marymount is going to throw at us.
I've said this before, and Steve Fisher knows it as well as anybody. You cannot practice this kind of pace because Loyola just does it so much better than anybody else in the country.
Look at the 3-point shooting. Loyola Marymount shooting 53% from behind the line. Caleb at the line, that's way short. And Mills has it and puts it up.
Well, he is rolling, Greg.
Michigan basket by Terry Mills.
Terry Mills now with 18 points. This is Chris Knight in on the baseline and back up top. Steamer fakes the 3, tries to get it back outside and lost it. Up ahead for Tolbert, and basket will count. So Michigan comes right back, and we have a little more conversation. This time, Terrell Lowry, number 20, and number 24, Sean Higgins, and looks to be getting a little serious.
Well, they're exchanging greetings, Greg. I'm sure that's all it is.
Late for St. Patrick's Day.
Michael Talley in the game for Michigan, replacing Demetrius Caleb. Tony Tolbert at the free throw line, shooting 1.
Tolbert makes it a 60-53 game. As we approach a minute and a half, Kimball for 3. And there's a foul on Pierre Steamer behind, and I think Pierre might regret that one.
Yeah, that's one he really didn't have to give, Greg. You know, there was no chance for him to get the rebound. You like aggressive play, but you don't need to go in and slap like that.
Here in the West region, Loyola Marymount and Michigan, the winner here advances to Oakland, California next weekend to play the winner of our next game this afternoon. Crimson Tide of Alabama and the Arizona Wildcats. Meanwhile, the other West Regional action in Salt Lake City, Nevada, Las Vegas, and Ball State have moved on. So those are the other 2 teams that you will see coming out of Oakland, California here on CBS next weekend. Terry Mills hits from the free throw line.
If you've got to talk about anybody playing well, it's got to be right here, Terry Mills. He's looking at, what, about 19 points, and he doesn't have a lot of rebounds, but he's come back with his offense, and he's the main reason that Michigan is right where they are in this game.
That one will go on Riley. The 6'11 freshman fouled over the back. And let's make note of the fact that was once a 14-point lead for Loyola Marymount is now 6.
In the game for Michigan, replacing Eric Riley.
Well, you got Loyola coming in. He's got a considerable break there. You know, you got Eric Riley, he's a young freshman, but he comes in, and if you can give Vaught a break, you know, that allows him to stay involved in the game without exposing himself to foul trouble, considering the pace of the game.
Steamer hits the first. The 6'7" junior from Södertälje, Sweden. I'm getting so good at saying that.
You got that down to a science.
Hits them both, 62-54. And Demetrius Caleb replaces Callie. And Tom Peabody off the Loyola Marymount bench for Chris Knight.
Both coaches substitute, giving breaks. Chris Knight was a player that we were concerned as to whether or not he'd show up to play in the tournament. I think he's done a great job getting some rebounds, getting some points for the Lions.
Pressure forces the turnover, and this is Lowry. Caleb was triple teamed in the backcourt and coughed it up. Here comes Tolbert down the lane. Nice shot.
Shows you he's got some skill.
And the steal by Tolbert. Takes it to the baseline, out of bounds, belongs to Michigan. Good defensive play by Steamer, number 4.
Imagine being at 30,000 feet with a plane full of kids and you have a heart attack. That's what happened to me. I'm on an aspirin regimen now. My doctor told me it's the easiest preventative thing you can do.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
See your doctor. Simple.
So what's the problem?
It's your blades, pal.
Oh, man, I should have known.
Even the best blades get worn down. When that happens, it's not as comfortable, see? When the strip turns white, you should think about changing it for a smoother ride.
Gillette Fusion. Fresh blade, more comfortable shave.
Are you a homeowner 62 or older? Your home is probably a big part of your life, especially in retirement. But now, if your retirement savings isn't what it used to be, it might be harder to make ends meet. Well, now there's good news. If you're a homeowner 62 or older, you may be eligible to receive tax-free income, eliminate your mortgage payments if you have them, and stay in your home. It's all through a new government-insured program called a reverse mortgage, offered by One Reverse Mortgage. Today's reverse mortgage was created by the government specifically for seniors as a form of financial relief. It's designed to help you turn the equity in your home into tax-free income that you can use to eliminate your mortgage payment, pay medical bills, and cover the rising cost of living. Or use it for anything you need. And you're entitled to get this tax-free income all without making any more monthly payments. Find out more about how this government program works with this free guide. In it, you'll find important facts about how much money you can get, how you'll always own your own home, and how you can still save money for your heirs. You'll also learn about government safeguards, costs and fees, and why every day thousands of homeowners like you are choosing reverse mortgages. When you call today, a reverse mortgage expert will not only send you this free guide, but they'll answer any of your questions right over the phone. And there's no obligation. So find out what you're entitled to. Call a reverse mortgage expert today for your free information. You've worked hard for your home. Now your home can work for you.
Just before the 1989 NCAA tournament, Michigan coach Bill Frieder announced his intentions to be the next coach at Arizona State. So Michigan Athletic Director Bo Schembechler chose Steve Fisher to run the team. The Wolverines went on to win the championship, giving Fisher a perfect 6-0 start at Michigan and eventually the head coaching job. With more on Fisher, here's Eric Clemens with his Vintage Sports Center report from 1989.
The dream lives on.
Steve Fisher can't be blamed for thinking this past month has been nothing short of a fantasy. It's been well documented. From assistant on the third-place team in the Big Ten, to interim head coach for the tournament, to the national championship, and now the permanent head coach of the reigning title holders, the Michigan Wolverines. Many thought that since Michigan rode the crest of a tremendous wave through the tournament, Fisher's appointment was automatic, but not athletic director Bo Schembechler.
Soon after we won the national championship, the letters came in congratulating me, said, boy, Steve Fisher did a great job. I hope you name him coach. A few days later, they came in, well, what are you waiting on? How long is it going to take for you to name him coach? And then the other day, I picked up a couple, and they started out, why, you son of a bitch.
In 1989, Fisher helped Michigan become the first school to win the Rose Bowl and the NCAA basketball title in the same year. Now let's watch Fisher's Wolverines battle Paul Westhead's high-octane Loyola Marymount team in the 1990 NCAA tournament right here on ESPN Classic.
Under a minute, 58 seconds to play, 64-56. Coming up at halftime, Jim Nance, Mike Francesa in our studios in New York. They'll update you on lots of tight games this afternoon, and they'll set the stage for next week's matchups in this year's NCAA championship.
Got to get the ball right there because Tom Peabody, there's no way he can guard Terry Mills.
Tapped out of bounds, Michigan again. And now Ramil Robinson will check back in for Michigan. Minnesota with the three-point lead in the southeast. And Xavier continues to dominate Georgetown that game at halftime.
Well, that's another one of those surprises that I know I didn't expect to see.
No shot clock. 35 seconds to play, first half. 64-56 Loyola Marymount, and Michigan content to hold it.
Michigan probably got Sean Higgins and Ramil Robinson. You want to get them on the side with Terry Mills and let him post up because he's been playing great on the offensive end.
Good shot by Caleb. 64-58. Kimball on the run, inside, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line. With 9 seconds showing, Kimball will shoot 2. Foul is on Michael Talley. That's 2 on Talley. And Steve Fisher playing the part of timekeeper on the sideline.
2 men, 2 shots. Bo Kimball at the free throw line, shooting 2.
Kimball missed that one.
More like a brick. Quite frankly, he's a great shooter. That was really a brick.
He has 15 points. And now Bo is to give up the basketball while the officials confer as to whether Michigan can make a substitution here.
They can.
They can't.
Bo already had the ball, and the officials making the call.
So Loy Vaught will take a seat. Kimball with 16 points, and now Peabody into the game to replace Bo Kimball for the final 9 seconds.
I want to say Bo from getting his 3rd foul, and Peabody is also capable of coming up with a steal.
Here's Ramil Robinson. He'll pull up and blocked from behind by Peabody. 3 seconds. Wow. And the whistle blows. It's a traveling violation, but Terrell Lowry gave it a shot, didn't he?
Oh, he gave it a great shot. He threw the ball left-handed, and it was only about 4 feet short. Well, not quite that. 2 feet short from going in.
We still have a second to go on the clock, and Michigan will inbound it, and now Loy Vaught comes in. And Mike Griffin will too.
Steve Fisher looking at a chance to try to cut the lead down a little bit more, just going in here.
I think we're looking at the possibility of a lob to one of the big guys inside. Terry Mills will inbound. And now number 14, Michael Talley, wants in for Michigan. And Paul Westhead says, what's the deal here? Well, I count 5 players on the floor now, so the Wolverines have 1 too many.
No, they had 2 too many. They had 7 players on the court.
1 second to go. And time expired.
No, we got a 5-second call. We got a 5-second call. They couldn't get the ball out to Ramil. Steve Fisher standing there trying to figure out what went wrong. And Michigan just did a poor job of setting picks to get, and they were looking for Ramil Robinson. Poor job of getting him open.
So now Bo Kimball back into the lineup, and he and Per Steamer are going to figure out exactly what they want to do with this 1 second remaining.
They don't have a chalkboard. I'm not sure what they can come up with here for this last second.
I don't imagine it'll differ much from their usual offense.
get open and throw it up there.
Steamer lofts it. And the whistle blows as Cole got the shot off. He must have stepped.
Wait a minute. Now, if they're saying
now.
the ball if it's out of bounds, if he caught it out of bounds and they bring it back over here,
then there's still a second remaining on the clock.
Yeah. They said he caught it and stepped out of bounds. He caught the ball in bounds and stepped out of bounds. But you see the pass right here. Now, if he catches the ball and he's already out of bounds, then the ball rightfully should come back to where Paris Steamer threw it. Now, he catches the ball.
He touches the ball there and then steps on the line.
Steps out on the line.
And still hit the shot.
Threw up a raindrop. They put the 1 second back on the clock.
Well, now the Loyola Marymount Lions have left the court, and now they've got to come back.
They better go get the managers. Loyola Marymount was gone.
In fact, there are still only 3 of the Lions back on the court now. The rest of the team has gone to the locker room.
So what they ruled basically is he caught the ball, he was inbound, stepped out of bounds before the time was run off the clock. So therefore they leave the 1 second on the clock. As you can see back there, some of the Loyola Marymount players just kind of standing and lurking. They finally decided to come back into the game.
This is a lot like an encore for a rock group at a concert. The fans are cheering for him, and now they make their appearance. So what this will do is mirror the exact situation Michigan had earlier. No, it won't either, because it'll be inbounded at the other end of the court.
This is the length of the court, and the only thing you can really do is just try to get it down here and get a shot up. Paul Westhead got him engaged in a little bit of a conversation. He's got the best of the calls right now, because if Boyd had caught the ball out of bounds, they can have it, Michigan have it on their own half-court line.
And we're only just beginning here in Long Beach today.
You know, but Greg, we got it in a second to go. We got 65 points by Loyola Marymount. They average 124 points a game, well on their way to what they like to get in terms of scoring.
Chris Knight will defend against Terry Mills, who will probably do his best Boomer Esiason here.
Now, it's got to touch somebody in bounds. If it goes straight out of bounds, Loyola gets it back where Chris Mills is.
He just lobs it. And Steamer has it. And now we're at halftime. That's the end of the first half with our score, Loyola Marymount 65 and Michigan 58. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship continues after this message and a word from your local station.
The dream is still alive, someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
Building what's important for more than 90 years with a powertrain backed for 100,000 miles. Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. Rush's relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
What? Giant peanut with sea salt. Dude, you're freaking me out.
Hey, getting really sick of this, Gary.
Planters with pure sea salt.
Luckily, State Farm has some helpful ways to plan for your future. Not just car insurance, but car loans and life insurance too.
It's a miracle.
Oops.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
Here's Reggie!
What if I told you he was the reason the city never slept? Winning Time, Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks. Directed by Dan Cloris. Sunday, March 14th at 9. Part of ESPN Films 30 for 30.
Saturday, first up at 2, number 1 Syracuse at Louisville. Then at 9, North Carolina battles 4th-ranked Duke.
It has been an interesting first half, to say the least. It has also gone Loyola Marymount's way. They have the pace they want. They have the guys doing the scoring they want with Jeff Fryer and Bo Kimball, and they would like to see more of the same here in the second half.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Greg, but I think if you're Steve Fisher and you come out of halftime, you've got to say, guys, we're right here in the game, and we've played Loyola Marymount's game. So obviously, that Michigan has to feel pretty good about their chances. But this is when you find out what kind of condition you're in, because one half of doing it is one thing. To do it for another 20 minutes is entirely different.
Bo Kimball. Left open. Didn't fall for him. Chris Knight up high for the rebound. Steamer with the loose ball. Walker, Kimball, Steamer, Knight, and Fryer, the starters in the second half here for Loyola Marymount. Kimball works his way down the lane, and he'll go to the line.
Looks like a little bit of a strategy change here. Bo Kimball had not been getting picks in the first half, and all of a sudden you see Per Steamer is setting up picks on Mike Griffin to free Bo Kimball, and Bo Kimball faked toward the pick, went back, got Terry Mills for the foul.
Bo Kimball at the free throw line for Loyola Marymount to shoot 2.
Well, I'm sure the thinking of Paul Westhead was to get Bo Kimball off as he did in the second half against New Mexico State. That was the rhythm that the Lions needed. Westhead said, all right, let's find ways to get Bo Kimball more shots.
For Kimball, 67-58, and the full court press, which worked so well in the first half for the Lions. Vaught takes it right at Steamer and comes up way short, and Steamer is fouled.
Lloyd Vaught just hated it. You could see in his face he missed that shot, and he hated that he missed that. Got himself a little too anxious, went back and then fouled.
It's number 3 on Vaught. You know, Sean Higgins of Michigan said one of the things we don't do well this year is get the ball to Glenn Rice.
You know, they looked for Glenn Rice a little bit early in the season. And I think that happens when you have a player as good as Rice, and it took the team a while to get their identity. It's evident by the fact that they're here playing in this game that they found that identity.
Rice, of course, having gone on to the NBA. Kimball for Walker. And Walker's missed Vaught's rebound. And Chris Knight almost stole it from him. Look at the pressure. Caleb. Oh, shot. Comes down with it and puts it back up. Caleb goes back up.
Offensive rebound. Anytime you let a team get 3 shots at the basket, they're either get it in or get fouled.
For Knight, and Knight for Steamer for 3. Knight chases it down, back outside, here's Fryer. What a quick release Jeff Fryer has.
But the play goes to Chris Knight. He was strong enough and had the presence of mind to get the ball to Fryer.
Caleb misses the outlet. Here comes Walker down the lane. Kimball missed the follow-up, and here comes Michigan. Robinson right at Steamer, and a blocking foul on Steamer.
Great effort is a necessity when you're playing in a game like this. You've got to do all the little things. You see Knight is still able to stay in, but he finds Jeff Fryer open, but that credit has to go to Chris Knight to be able not only save the ball, but find his scorer, Jeff Fryer.
Michigan ball out of bounds.
Terry Mills inbounding for Michigan. And tapped out of bounds and belongs to the Wolverines. Steve Fisher giving Caleb some instructions to step back a few feet.
He wants Demetrius Caleb to go all the way to the other half of the court to not get caught up with the pressure that Loyola Marymount can put on you. Griffin is giving that shot. He's going to have to take it.
Loy Vaught has a call for him. 70 to 62. Fryer into the lane and back outside. Steamer for three. For Steamer.
A lot of weapons, a lot of weapons.
Michigan in a hurry again. Robinson in the lane, throws it up, doesn't go. Rebound out to the Wolverines and Terry Mills. Steamer up high but loses it. And they'll start over from outside. Swinging around, Robinson for three. And Ramil Robinson connects from long range. He has 12. That's done the Lions. They're on the drive. And a blocking foul on Michigan's Mike Griffin.
Tony Walker was really upset that he was not able to get that shot down. Able to get the ball up. You know, Loyola Marymount gets you when they make shot more so than when they miss it, because people have a tendency to relax as you see Tony Walker take the ball to the basket. Guys like to go back court, you know, kind of let everybody see that they've done a great job. But Loyola Marymount feels that's when you're most vulnerable after you've made a shot. They force it back at you.
You cannot Cadillac back down the court, as
no,
they say.
No chance for going back down court and styling, as the fellas like to do.
No 0.6 assists for this young man today. It's his first.
But he's gotten the tempo up, so he's done what he's needed to do. And Mike Griffin, the guy that's been doing a very good job with Bo Kimball, has now got his third foul.
Two free throws for Walker, 75-65, 10-point lead for the Lions. Robinson thinks better of the three with Loyola Marymount all over it. Higgins long range, Vaught follows. And back come the Lions, down the lane, back outside, whistle blows. And the offensive foul on Walker. Walker out of control on that drive.
And Terry Mills did a good job anticipating what Walker was trying to do. Once he saw Walker blocked off, did the right thing. Get there, establish your position.
Michigan's Big Ten cousins Purdue falling to Texas by one today. Higgins, nice move. Sean Higgins. 6 points for Higgins. 75-69. Kimball, three-pointer on the way. Peabody into the lineup with the rebound. Good find on Steamer.
Tough shot by Steamer. Peabody showing his presence again, getting the loose balls.
The big guy, Terry Mills, running the floor. The pass out of bounds to LMU. More offense into the lineup for Loyola Marymount. Terrell Lowry will replace Tony Walker. As you look at other scores from NCAA tournament play.
Come back in with Terrell Lowry. Try to get a little more offense from that spot. Terrell Lowry can hit his shot. Now it makes it much more difficult to guard Loyola Marymount because he can hit both the outside as well as take it to the basket.
Kimball looking for his shot. Backs up behind the three-point line. Let's go. It doesn't go. Michigan, good save by number 14, Michael Talley. Robinson pressured, gets the ball over the line. And out of the corner, Sean Higgins. Big rebound by Kimball. Lowry loses it. Ramil Robinson pushes it. And fouled from behind by Steamer. This young man plays hard.
Well, he really does play hard, but now he's got the Loyola Marymount Lions in a tough spot. He's got 4 fouls, so that's something that Steve Fisher's crew has got to enjoy. You see, Ramil Robinson, there's no question he's going to jam it. But Paris Steamer's not going to let him go for an easy shot. Comes across the top. Paris Steamer's got to come out of the game now.
Into the game is number 31, Chris Scott.
Well, with Per Steeman going out, you don't lose not only defense, but he's shown his ability to make the three-point shot, draw some of the Wolverines away from the basket. Chris Scott is a freshman. He's coming into a power pack situation. Never been exposed to NCAA basketball, particularly at tournament time. This is much different than playing during the regular season.
And Schemer really is the only true banger down low that Loyola Marymount has. 1 out of 2 for Robinson. We'll take timeout with 15:19 to play here in Long Beach.
Just because it says for men doesn't mean it is. New Gillette Odor Shield Body Wash targets and neutralizes odor for up to 16 hours. Because you've got a man-sized odor hanging all over you. Gillette Odor Shield Body Wash. Wash like a man, feel like a man. Also try new Gillette Odor Shield Antiperspirant.
Carlos Pena or Raul Ibanez?
20 seconds.
Seriously? Okay, need a big bat. Daddy needs some RBIs. Let's see. Carlos had 100, Raul had 93. Carlos is younger, but I like the sound of Raul. Raul. Definitely better to chant than Carlos. Plus, he's bald. When am I gonna lose my hair? Dude, focus. Need a big bat. Vicente Padilla.
5 pitchers in a row? Interesting.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
ESPN, your NBA destination. LeBron James.
Beautiful move by LeBron James.
And newly acquired big man Antoine Jamison have the league-leading Cavs poised for a championship run. Tomorrow night, they look to shut down the Pistons. Then, the Hornets try to get back in the playoff picture as they take on Tim Duncan and the Spurs. NBA Friday night doubleheader. Pistons Cavs and Hornets Spurs. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Hi, I'm John Scher, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that gives away all the free computer learning lessons. Well, I've given away hundreds of thousands of my free computer learning lessons, and I'm not done yet. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Do you want to join the millions of people who are making money on eBay? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I can make you the next millionaire selling an attic full of baseball cards, but I can guarantee you I'll teach you everything you need to know about eBay. And with over 60 lessons on all of today's most popular computer programs, I know that there's more you're going to want to learn. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Try my product.
Call now and get your great learning CD absolutely free. You'll see how fast and easy you can learn eBay, Windows, Excel, PowerPoint, or any other video lesson. Call now to get the skills you need to succeed. Just pay shipping and processing. Call 1-800-260-8492. That's 1-800-260-8492.
You're watching the 1990 NCAA Tournament second-round matchup between the Lions of Loyola Marymount and the Michigan Wolverines right here on ESPN Classic.
15:19 to play here in the game in Long Beach. Loyola Marymount with a 7-point lead over Michigan. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. Meanwhile, action continues elsewhere around the country, and we, of course, will be keeping you updated on what takes place in the Southeast Regional today. Syracuse by 2 over Virginia. Northern Iowa trailing Minnesota in the second half. Winners there move on to New Orleans, Louisiana next weekend.
You got to like Syracuse, boy. They've got, big Derek Coleman and get around that basket. And they've been able to put pressure on people. And then once they made the change to get John Edwards away from the point guard, they've gotten a good leadership, too.
What a move inside by Bo Kimball. He has 19. And there's the takeaway. Kimball. Oh, blew the layup.
Tried to draw the foul.
And there's a foul by Peabody at center court, and Rumeal Robinson was fouled at midcourt.
Bo Kimball, in trying to draw the foul to keep the defender from going up, try to make contact with the body, just didn't get enough on the ball and shot it short.
Kimball is not having a good shooting day. 6 for 22 from the floor. Higgins pressured by Fryer. It is Talley, Robinson, Lloyd Vaught, Terry Mills, and Sean Higgins. This is Mills.
Yeah, but this is what Michigan needs to do. They've been able to get back in the game close enough. With Per Steeman out of the game, he was the strongest, biggest player that Loyola Marymount has. The way to take advantage of it is post Mills and Vaught.
Lowry comes back with the three-pointer. 82-72.
Loyola was the man trying to fill in. He never could get there, Greg. The pace is too fast for him. He couldn't get in to fill in the break. Tom Peabody is hurt.
Tom Peabody holding his right hand and goes to the Loyola bench.
Well, he's already got it wrapped, so it looks as though he may have jammed that wrist again. The trainer's over there looking at it.
Meanwhile, Demetrius Caleb in for Michael Talley. And pressure almost causes another turnover. Caleb beats it and puts it up off the glass. Kimball with the rebound. Fryer for three. Rebound Scott. No, and Michigan has it. And a whistle blows and the foul goes against Loyola Marymount. Jeff Fryer has drawn his third personal. And foul or no, it's Loyola Marymount's kind of game.
Yeah, it definitely is, Greg. They're pushing it up and down. And what you'll notice that'll happen later in the game, when Michigan gets tired, you'll see that Loyola Marymount will be able to get more rebounds because it's not a matter of height. Now it's a matter of getting to the ball quickly, and Loyola Marymount has the quicker people.
Tom Peabody has ice on that hand on the Loyola Marymount bench. Rumeal Robinson inside. Good move by Rumeal Robinson. Robinson has 15. Lowry forcing a three. And a whistle blows underneath. Let's see who the foul is on.
They call it on Bo. No, they didn't.
It is on Bo Kimball. That's number 3 on Kimball.
Well, Bo ran in there trying to tip dunk again.
(84-74). 13:20 to play here in the game, and there's a foul on Knight. And for one of the few times you will ever see Paul Westhead turn to his players and said, take it easy.
Yeah, it really is, because what he recognizes that he's got one of his leading scorers, Jeff Fryer, sitting on the bench. But the other problem is now you're looking at Michigan has already gotten themselves into the penalty with 13 minutes to go. Now it's a matter of every time you foul Michigan, they get foul shots.
Westhead was questioned and in some corners criticized for leaving Bo Kimball in the game Friday night with 4 personal fouls, and his response was, if you have your best player on the bench, he is of no value.
Yours truly was one to question that. I really did, and you're right. When we asked, that's what he said. He said, the only way we can win is have Bo in there.
Caleb hits the first free throw.
Thank you.
84-75. Steve Fisher enjoying a tremendous run in postseason play in his short tenure at Michigan. 84-76. And back comes Walker. Lowry past Robinson.
Whoa, now you won't see that very often. Not anybody jet past Rumeal Robinson.
20 points for Lowry. Higgins. And a couple of Lions converge on him out of bounds to Michigan.
In the game for Loyola Marymount, Jeff Fryer.
Jeff Fryer back into the game for Loyola. 42, Eric Riley for Michigan. And Per Steamer with 4 personal fouls back into the lineup.
Chris Scott.
They got the big body back in there because Eric Riley comes in. Scott did a good job. Coming in off the bench, got a rebound, missed an opportunity to get a basket, but he's done a good job under the fire.
Here's Terry Mills, stripped to the ball. Outlet for Kimball, who tracks it down. Fryer out of the corner. He will nail that shot all day long. He has 27 out of bounds, and it belongs to Loyola Marymount. Steve Fisher says we've got to talk this over with 12 minutes, 31 seconds to play.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. Russia's relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
If you feel fraud or identity theft only happens to other people, then don't bother watching this commercial.
I've taken precautions all my life to protect my identity. I've been in law enforcement all my life, and my identity was stolen.
Did you know that identity theft has topped the Federal Trade Commission's list of consumer complaints for the last 8 years? It's a serious problem with anyone with a Social Security number, and it continues to get worse. Fact is, on your own, there are many things you can do to deter identity theft. Protect your Social Security number, shred and destroy, be internet savvy, use intricate passwords, safeguard your purse and wallet. Seriously, are you really going to do all that? No, really, are you going to do all that for you and your family? At LifeLock, the gold standard in identity theft protection, we're here to help. We take proactive steps to deter identity theft, to help stop it before it happens. LifeLock Identity Theft Protection can be yours for just $10 a month. Call 800-792-8552.
When you are a victim of identity theft, from that point, your whole entire life is spent trying to protect your identity. And I say trying because it's a full-time job just trying to protect your identity.
If your identity is stolen, nothing can be more frustrating or more time-consuming than cleaning up afterwards. At LifeLock, all we do is think of ways to help protect your identity. And if you do become a victim of identity theft while a member of LifeLock because of a failure in our service, we help you fix it and work toward restoring your good name. It's part of our $1 million total service guarantee. This peace of mind comes included with your $10 a month LifeLock membership. Sign up now and we'll send you a paper shredder to help keep your identity even safer. For LifeLock peace of mind at just $10 a month and to receive your paper shredder, call now and mention Shredder. Call 800-792-8552. Call 800-792-8552 now. That's 800-792-8552. Or visit lifelock.com.
For more information and trivia on our classic games, upcoming specials, and the ESPN Classic program schedule, go to ESPN.com. Keyword Classic. Well, Michigan and Loyola Marymount were lighting up the scoreboards in the 1990 Big Dance. The top 5 selling pop singles on the Billboard charts that week were Escapade by Janet Jackson, Black Velvet by Alana Miles, Rome by the B-52s, Love Will Lead You Back by Taylor Dayne, and Price of Love by Bad English. As a senior, Loyola Marymount's Bo Kimball led the nation in scoring, averaging 35.3 points a game. Kimball, the number 8 pick in the 1990 draft, was selected by the LA Clippers. Michigan featured 3 future NBA hoopsters, as Ramil Robinson went number 10 to Atlanta. The Clippers picked Loy Vaught at number 13, and Terry Mills was drafted by Milwaukee as the 16th selection. The top 5 picks were as follows. Derek Coleman of Syracuse went to New Jersey. Oregon State's Gary Payton was drafted by Seattle. LSU's Chris Jackson went to Denver. Georgia Tech's Dennis Scott landed with the Orlando Magic, and Illinois guard Kendall Gill joined the Charlotte Hornets. Now let's watch Bo Kimball and the up-tempo Loyola Marymount Lions match wits with Ramil Robinson and the defending national champion Wolverines of Michigan, only on ESPN Classic.
Shortly after Loyola Marymount defeated New Mexico State Friday night, 111-92, that message appeared on the chalkboard in the LMU locker room. The dream refers to Loyola's determination to play and play well in memory of Hank Gathers, and it is indeed very much alive with 8:09 to play, and the Lions leading Michigan 115-88.
Been able to dictate the tempo, Greg, and that's how they've kept the dream alive in this game.
This is Peabody. Looking down low, Talley is guilty of the foul. Loyola Marymount proves that age-old adage, you move without the basketball, good things happen.
It happens, but it goes back to what their premise is all the time. Nobody is going to be in better shape than Paul Westhead's Loyola Marymount Lions. The way they get in shape in practice is they just run, and they run in sequence. And what happens is teams like Michigan get fouls because they don't have the leg power. They just haven't run this much.
Back in 1969, Utah scored 117 points against the University of Michigan, and that is the most ever scored against a Michigan team.
I think they're in trouble.
Tony Walker right now is looking at point number 117 if he hits this free throw. (117 to 88). Robinson for Higgins. Nice shot by Sean Higgins.
Can shoot it. They've been waiting on him to come out of a shooting slump. I talked about it earlier. He's really slumped. So if he comes out of a slump, he can make a lot of things happen.
Tom Peabody from the far side.
Tom Peabody.
Robinson to Tally, and he traveled. He saw Sean Higgins ahead, saw a 2-on-1 break, and got a little too excited.
Yeah, he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to lob or if he wanted to go ahead and take the shot.
Xavier has to survive 8 seconds to beat Georgetown. Michigan with 25 turnovers now. And there is the steal by Fryer, and he's guilty of the foul.
Well, he just fouled on the game, didn't he?
And there's a whistle down on the baseline, and I think it'll be the Bruise that's guilty of a foul.
Fouls on 11, Tom Peabody, second personal.
The winner of this game meets the winner of the one to follow, Alabama against Arizona. We trust it will be not quite as quick a pace.
Yeah, I don't think it can be. I think there's a chance we can catch our breath in that game.
Higgins hits 2. And it's 121-94. And Loy Vaught back in, Mills back to the bench. And here comes Walker. Fryer for 3. Missed everything.
Got the rebound. Tony Walker ran in there after the pass and was able to come up with that rebound.
Steamer, 3-pointer. 124 to 94. 21 points for Steamer. Those of you who've been watching action elsewhere, welcome back to Long Beach, California, where Loyola Marymount is leading 124 to 96. And it has been another outstanding display of explosive offense. Jeff Fryer, 3-pointer. They just don't quit.
Oh, they rain 3-pointers.
There's a whistle in the backcourt as Ramil Robinson is fouled. 8 3-pointers for Jeff Fryer. His 32 points have been pushing Loyola Marymount, who scored 42 points off of 22 Michigan turnovers.
Well, you know, the reason that's happened, Greg, is that this tempo is really tough to stop, and Michigan got caught up in it. And I said it to you last night, I thought that was going to be a problem for Michigan because these young men from Michigan have played this way as they've grown up all of their lives. And Steve Fisher wanted to try to tell them, we need successful breaks. If we have a good one, we take it. If we don't, we've got to bring the ball back out. And I don't think Michigan has done a very good job of bringing it back out. Therefore, the Temple has favored Loyola Marymount.
Jerry Mills looking for a way into this game. Meanwhile, Ramil Robinson, 20 points, 8 assists, 21 points.
You can run that. Okay, let's slide over the side.
And now Mills will come into the game. He'll replace Loy Vaught. You got to think Steve Fisher has been shuffling his big men as often as he can to give them some rest. Here comes Walker. Good. That's Peabody fouled. And Peabody will go to the line. You see it, an NCAA record. 127 points.
Oh, this is the one that I I was most curious about. Loyola Marymount scores 124 points. Golden State leads the NBA with 116. Now, the real key here is that Loyola Marymount gets their 124 points in 40 minutes as compared to 48 for the NBA. That's incredible numbers for Paul Westhead's Lions.
And they're continuing to add up.
They don't stop shooting the basketball. That's what Paul tells them. Hey, guys, get it down here, get 100 shots up. We'll win the game.
And a timeout is called as Tom Peabody hits 2. And look at the Lions bench.
Switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the cavemen invent fire? Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is Ed too tall, Jones too tall?
Carlos Pena or Raul Ibanez?
20 seconds.
Seriously? Okay, need a big bat. Daddy needs some RBIs. Let's see. Carlos had 100, Raul had 93. Carlos is younger, but I like the sound of Raul. Raul. Definitely better to chant than Carlos. Plus, he's bald. When am I gonna lose my hair? Dude, focus. Need a big bat. Vicente Padilla.
5 pitchers in a row? Interesting.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
Saturday, first up at 2, #1 Syracuse at Louisville. Then at 9, North Carolina battles 4th-ranked Duke.
Hi, I'm John Chair, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that gives away all the free computer learning lessons. Well, I've given away hundreds of thousands of my free computer learning lessons, and I'm not done yet. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Do you want to join the millions of people who are making money on eBay? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I can make you the next millionaire selling an attic full of baseball cards, but I can guarantee you I'll teach you everything you need to know about eBay. And with over 60 lessons on all of today's most popular computer programs, I know that there's more you're going to want to learn. If you call right now, I'm going to send you this learning CD free. Try my product.
Call now and get your great learning CD absolutely free. You'll see how fast and easy you can learn eBay, Windows, Excel, PowerPoint, or any other video lesson. Call now to get the skills you need to succeed. Just pay shipping and processing.
Call 1-800-260-8492. That's 1-800-260-8492.
Loyola Marymount would consider it a giant step indeed to be able to knock off the defending national champion, and they are in position to do that with 5:46 to play in the game. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner here in Long Beach, California, and it has just been another awesome display by Paul Westhead's Loyola Marymount Lions. Almost 5.5 minutes to play. And welcome those of you who have seen Xavier of Ohio knock off Georgetown in Indianapolis and move on to Dallas, Texas. Here at Loyola Marymount, all over the defending national champions from the University of Michigan. And they continue to pour it on. Terrell Lowry with the miss there, but it has been Loyola Marymount's fast-paced attack. The Wolverines haven't been able to keep up.
Well, that's it in a nutshell, Greg. It's just been tempo, tempo, tempo. That tempo has been up and down. Loyola Marymount averaging 124 points. It does it better than anybody else in college basketball.
Perhaps the best-known story in the country, the loss of Hank Gathers, who passed away earlier this month, and Loyola Marymount devoting every second of every game to his memory.
Now, this is a change. Loyola Marymount is going into a mile 4 corners.
Paul Westhead says go after it with 10 seconds on the shot clock. And there's a foul. Turnovers have been the downfall of Michigan today, and Loyola Marymount has taken advantage. 42 points off of turnovers, and of course the Lions hit their three-pointers.
Well, they've been hitting their three-pointers, but they've been creating opportunities for those three-pointers by the fact that they had full court pressure This young man here, Tom Peabody, has come up with turnovers. He's created turnovers, played a great all-around game. But they, as I said, they've been able to get superior effort from everybody on their team to make up for whatever loss they have in rebounding and scoring points.
Meanwhile, Per Steamer has left the game with 21 points. Terry Mills out, Loy Vaught in for the Wolverines. And Tom Peabody out of the game now. Jeff Fryer comes in. And Peabody gets a well-deserved reception on the Loyola bench. Higgins, three-pointer, nails it.
Well, if anybody can stick it on Michigan's team, it's Sean Higgins. But as I said, at this point, you get the tempo. If you want it up, then you're moving back into Loyola's game. And Loyola is just going to let some of the air out of the ball. They want to just use time off the clock.
Outside, Fryer for three.
That's how you use time off the clock, Greg.
If it's not time off the clock, it's points on the board. 9 out of 13 from three-point land for Jeff Fryer, and 35 points today. Tolbert inside for two. But a 3-for-2 exchange will not get you back even with Loyola Marymount. Meanwhile, Michigan over the 100-point mark for the 7th time this season. Under 3.5 to play. There's a traveling violation. We have 3 minutes, 14 seconds remaining to be played in the game. Here in Long Beach, California, the Long Beach Arena has been alive from the start, as the Loyola Marymount Lions have pounded it again and again and lead at 134 to 103.
You got to call the bank when you shoot that one. You can't be over there banking the shot from over there. You know, the thing that I was really curious about with Loyola Marymount, and it's going to be paramount for them to do, regardless of their opponent for the next game, is how do they handle playing against such superior height? And they just try to take advantage of it with their strongest suit, which is speed. And that official's trying to find out whether this was goaltending, because Ramil Robinson came from nowhere.
Bo Kimball wants the two. He's not going to get it, but he will get 2 free throws.
Bo Kimball always wants 2, at least 2, if not 3.
Back in the game for Loyola Marymount.
Sean Higgins, meanwhile, drew his 4th.
Bo Kimball at the free throw line, shooting 2.
Bo Kimball, 33 points, 8 rebounds.
You get help from people like Jeff Fryer. Paul Westhead's Lions have been able to get Bo his shots. Fryer's got his. Peabody's made his. That just loosens it up for everybody else. But I'll tell you what was really one of the good telltale signs for the Lions was when Per Steamer hits that long shot. Now it brings everybody away from the basket.
Robinson takes it to the hoop. 23 for Ramil Robinson.
That was not an easy shot.
And this is, as you said, not typical of Loyola Marymount. Fryer.
That is typical. But you're right, the spread offense is not.
38 points for Fryer, 10 of 14 from behind the three-point line. Long bomb by Tolbert doesn't fall. And inside for Vaught.
Well, if you're wondering why Michigan doesn't try to call timeout, first of all, it's a substantial lead. Others, they only have 1 timeout. It's pretty hard for them to really do anything. Now going into the next game, got to combat height again. Loyola Marymount, what are they going to do?
Lowry drives the baseline, but the reverse doesn't fall. 1.5 minutes to play. As Tony Tolbert slides in for 2.
And as I said, what is Loyola Marymount going to do? I asked Paul Westhead that before, and he said the same thing we always do.
41 for Jeff Fryer. And Fryer stepped back behind the three-point line for that last one. Let's see if they try to get Jeff Fryer another. He's 11 for 15 from three-point land.
He's put a show on here, Greg.
.45 seconds. Kimball scores. Tolbert inside for two for Michigan. Under half a minute now.
I think about Loyola Marymount. It's a little hard to throttle that engine down. They're so used to going so fast.
And mass substitutions will probably take place here. Jeff Fryer getting the hero's welcome, as well he should.
When you have sensitive skin, a lot of things can really irritate your face. Shaving shouldn't be one of them. Gillette Fusion Power has 5 blades with an anti-friction coating that shave with incredible comfort. Fusion, proven performance even on sensitive skin.
Luckily, State Farm has some helpful ways to plan for your future. Not just car insurance, but car loans and life insurance too.
It's a miracle.
Oops. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It begins with a brushstroke. A simple yet powerful line. Uniting engineering and emotion. Connecting driver to road. Separating infinity from every other luxury car in the world. The newly redesigned Infiniti G sedan. This is inspired performance. This is the way of infinity.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, Russia's relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
eHarmony matches millions of people every day. So we video chatted with some to ask what makes eHarmony matches so special.
What they get out of me and what they get out of him and how they decide that we're perfect for one another. I don't know how they figured that part out, but they got it so right. I don't even know if I can put it in words.
Find the love of your life. Try eHarmony.com today and review all your matches absolutely free.
What?
Giant peanut with sea salt.
Dude, you're freaking me out.
Hey, getting really sick of this Gary.
Planters with pure sea salt.
Saturday, first up at 2, number 1 Syracuse at Louisville. Then at 9, North Carolina battles 4th-ranked Duke.
You're watching the 1990 NCAA Tournament second-round matchup between the Lions of Loyola Marymount and the Michigan Wolverines right here on ESPN Classic.
It's interesting. I looked at one of the assistant coaches for Loyola Marymount, and he's telling Bo, trying to give Bo the shooting stroke, like Bo needs help shooting the basketball or something.
And there's a running joke going back and forth between Bo and the bench. 37 for Kimball.
That man in the screen, both of those guys played outstanding game. Both Tom Peabody and Jeff Fryer just played great games. Scored, did everything they needed to do.
There's a whistle on the play.
Bye, Bo. You just fouled out.
The nation's leading scorer, 37 points, 8 rebounds. He has done his part here today. No one wants to win for Hank Gathers more than Bo Kimball.
Fouls on 14. Michael Talley has more.
Michael Talley with the foul. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was just going to say Steve Fisher's, looking up. He's disappointed, I'm sure. His crew played well. But once they got out into that full court up and down game, it's just so difficult to play Loyola Marymount at that game because the thing Steve thought was that it was going to be rebounds. Well, yeah, rebounds are going to be an issue, but that's if the rebounds come within the reach of your players. When they start to be long rebounds, now quickness takes hold, and there was no question Loyola Marymount just had too much quickness.
And make no mistake about it, they have beaten a good ball club here today, the University of Michigan.
Yeah, you better count on it.
Marcellus Lee, a three-pointer. 2 seconds, 1 second. It has been an amazing display. Amazing display. And Loyola Marymount now qualifies to move on to the Western regions with a 149-115 victory. From the West region in Long Beach, our final score, Loyola Marymount 149, Michigan 115. They now join Nevada, Las Vegas, and Ball State in the West region semifinals in Oakland, California, beginning Thursday night. Our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game for Loyola Marymount, Jeff Fryer and Rumeal Robinson for the University of Michigan. For Quinn Buckner, I'm Greg Gumbel. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the NCAA Championship.
Jeff Fryer's 41 points, including a single-game NCAA tournament record 11 three-pointers, inspired the Lions to the West Regional Sweet 16. Loyola Marymount then edged Alabama before falling to eventual 1990 national champ UNLV, thus ending their heartwarming win for Hank Gathers run.
The time you won your town the race, we cheered you through the marketplace. Man and boy stood cheering by, and home we brought you shoulder high. Today, the road all runners come, shoulder high we bring you home, and set you at your threshold down, townsman of a stiller town. Smart lad to slip be times away, from fields where glory does not stay. And early, though the laurel grows, it withers quicker than the rose. Eyes the shady night has shut cannot see the record cut, and silence sounds no worse than cheers after earth has stopped the ears. Now you will not swell the rout of lads that wore their honors out, runners whom renown outran, and the name died before the man.
There was no disgrace for the Lions' loss to the Runnin' Rebels in the Elite Eight. Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV squad, led by Larry Johnson, Stacey Ogman, and Greg Anthony, beat a pair of ACC powers in the Final Four, Georgia Tech 90-81, and Duke 103-73 to capture the 1990 NCAA title. We certainly hope you enjoyed Loyola Marymount's record-setting performance in its second-round 1990 NCAA tournament win over defending national champion Michigan. I'm Mike Gleason. Thanks for watching ESPN Classic.
From Universal Studios Hollywood, the Samuel Goldwyn Company presents
American Gladiators. Selected from a nationwide search, 20 men and women have come to Hollywood to challenge our force of American Gladiators for a single honor, to become American Gladiators champions. Now, here are your American Gladiators: Gemini, Lace, Nitro,